Ready, Frank? No. How long is the countdown, man? 20 seconds, okay. Amazing. All right. So welcome everybody again for the third Just Frame It demo day. For those connecting for the first time or watching this asynchronously, Just Frame It is an acceleration program dedicated to mini app builders. So at this point, 1 month and a half ago, we selected 6 teams among the best, I think, like Farcaster builders that apply to the program. And we've been following them, mentoring them, helping them getting users and distribution. And these demo days as just, check-in checkpoints, let's say, where they can showcase their progress, make them known, get visibility, and hopefully get feedbacks and new ideas from both the audience and the mentors and judges involved. Agenda for today, we'll see Heroes, now Warps, as the first mini app to present. Then we will have Atlas, Farcastle, Livermore, and finally Secret App. So without further ado, David or Garrett, whoever is presenting, please go. Just a reminder that you'll have 5 minutes to demo and 5 minutes to, question, answers, ideas, whatever it comes. Thank you. And good luck.
Cool, thanks. So this is Warps. And I think leaving FarCon was a bit of a bummer. I think we were at like 20, like maybe less than 100 users for sure. And I think it was around 20, 30. And then launched a couple things on Sunday night, kind of all at once. And things kind of exploded on Monday. I think it was Tuesday they really picked up. This is where we're at now, just a bird's eye view, sort of 2,400 unique users, a lot of transactions, which is something I'm watching closely, which is really interesting. And a couple of those things I think really led to growth. I think this is the one I'm most pumped about, is we have this new point scheme with leaderboard, and then making referrals as part of the point scheme. So I was going through and actually looking at people that were playing the game, and they were actually sharing this link, which was awesome. Another thing we did was we partnered with Dymo, and they allowed us for, instead of 2-click transactions, so approval and then token transfer, because we're doing USDC payments, we're doing it's 1 click, and then super easy to set up with that team. And it's just such a nice UI and such a better UX than the 2-transaction experience we were doing initially. And I got there. I'm not going to go through the whole Evolve flow. Another thing I did, so we ran into an issue on, I think it was Monday night. I realized that I really wanted free to play a big part of this game. We want this game to go viral versus trying to maximize for profits like we were in the last game, or just maximize for art and experience. And we wanted free to play, just so you can experience the game before you had to pay any money to continue to play. And what happened was, so right from the contract, you can mint your first NFTs for free, and then you had to pay after. And then a couple people had figured out, they could just spin up a bunch of wallets, mint for free, and then play the game that way. I shut the game down. And once I figured that out, the same day, I shut the game down, and then we figured out this new agent onboarding, which is pretty cool. So if I go here to my profile, so anyone that wants to start the game, they ask me for Warps on Farcaster, and then I send Warps, I send the NFTs right to their wallet. What's interesting about that is it's a little bit of distribution up front, so other people are seeing that you're getting Warps and you're starting this game. But what's really cool about it is I can kind of verify their identity. I still think people can blame it. I think there's a lot of bot accounts on Farcaster. Hard to prove that, but it's just an interesting way to onboard to a game. So I think that's my time. There's some other things we added too that led to growth, but I think I covered all the big ones.
Yep. I'll add quickly
Garrett, you wanna
to
say
that.
something?
Yeah, I'll just add that like the way you get free warps is if you first open the warps mini app, it says claim free warps. And if you claim free warps, it prompts the cast to say at Hurls, can I have some warps? He has a bot set up through, I think, Nanar on the side where it's just like pinging back through. So, like that's how the first experience is when you first open it. So I just wanted to like mention that because that's kind of how you get the free warps. Obviously continue to iterate on this, but there's been a lot of learnings and improvements kind of as David laid out.
Yeah, Carlos.
Amazing. Yeah, Carlos, go on.
So I have a comment. It is related with your app, but also it's like unrelated. So the thing is how Warpcast handles the wallets. Last week I entered your app, bought some warps, and then I wasn't sure which wallet I used. I don't know where my warps are, and I had to like switch between wallets, trying to find them to interact with them. It's not because of your app; it's because how Warpcast works. So we need, or you need to find a way to send a message to the users like, hey, your warps are in this wallet, or you minted using this other wallet, because it's like it's frustrating not knowing where your warps are. Yeah, that's just a comment, but it's not related to your app. It's how Warpcast works.
No, it's a subtle problem I'm trying to think through right now, and that's why I added this message, like where I call out the person's address. I wasn't doing that before, so I could I'm sending the NFTs to your primary address. If you look at Nanar docs, I'm assuming that's the warplet. And I think for most people that's fine. Some people have their wallet switch to another one, so they'll reach out to me, and then I end up just sending NFTs to their other wallet. NFTs, like as long as they can start the game, I don't really care. But it's definitely an issue. Like I was thinking maybe the agent could like, which wallet do you want me to send it to? But I'm not even sure that's worth it. But it's definitely an issue for sure. The agentic onboarding is not perfect. I don't even know if I would do it again, but it was an interesting experiment.
Yeah, I have one question around this agentic onboarding. Like, can't you like perform the same? Oh yeah, can't you perform the same check when calling or clicking the button instead of like sending the cast? Can't you check on the button? I think it's a cool trick to get more users in, because people see people on the feed like asking for some work. So maybe that's why you did it that way. But technically, you can do it even just by clicking the button, right?
Yeah, you could absolutely. You could just have like an authenticated request that, because what I'm doing in the contract is, as the owner of the contract, I'm minting on your behalf and then sending it to you. And then that address can only get it once. I was worried that maybe someone could figure out that request and then do it for multiple wallets. So I needed to verify that with their Farcaster identity somehow and guarantee that wallet's associated. I know there's a solution there. So what you're saying is probably the better way to do it. I just couldn't it was late on Monday night and I was like, you know what? I built a bunch of agents in the past. This probably just is the easiest way to do it. But I probably would do that next, what you suggested.
Yeah, then maybe I see still like an opportunity on these, tagging you, and then can I have some verbs in creating some, viral loops from there?
Yeah.
So even maybe even including I don't know, the mini app embed on the main cast could be a trick, because then it's more visible, because like replies usually they are not so visible in the feed.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like that. That's smart.
Yeah, that's good.
Frank.
So there's some social viral things I plan to add to the app. I have a list to kind of work through. So I'm going to launch that, release that early next week. Just some iterations on this current design. Then I think it's going to be a lot less product work and more marketing, which we haven't really done a lot of. It's been like a few casts. The growth has mostly been product driven, which is really cool. But I think one of the efforts is going to be around instead of using USDC, using an ERC20 token. The token will launch called Warps, which is kind of funny given the whole Warps thing inside Warpcast. But I think the token could really add to distribution. And then I'm not sure how that's going to work, but Garrett and I are kind of been talking about it. And how do you do it in the right way that like leads to growth, a healthier, a more sustainable, like the economics around the game. So there's a lot to figure out there. So there's some technical stuff too, but mostly experimenting around marketing.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is like the 3 or 4 levers we have at our disposal here on like kind of the gameonomics of this thing is sort of like, what is the mint price? What is the split that goes to like a fee cut versus like the prize pool? And then like how much of the prize pool is the prize? Is it 1% of the prize pool? Is it 2? Like tinkering with those variables and figuring out the right mix so that it's more sustainable and more fun and interesting over time. Particularly, hopefully, as more people play it and there's more transactions. So really thinking about that, both with USDC and then continuing to think about, like David says, around doing it with a more like fungible token that we launch and kind of can control the supply of a bit more. So, but we also want to make that simple and easy to understand and really trying to figure out how to hone this into something that's simple but efficient and sustainable.
Cool. All right, we perfectly on time. Good job. Excited to see the next iteration and the final demo day in 2 weeks.
Thanks.
Athos time now. Who's presenting? Jacob, Baishab?
I'm here. Hey.
Let's go.
Present. Hey,
Hey.
everybody.
Hey, Jacob.
How's it going?
Awesome.
One small detail is we are both in Florida right now, which is awesome. And we met for the first time at FarCon. And I was just thinking we've got to work together. I've never really built in person with anybody. This is like the first. We had like a big brainstorming session yesterday and making a lot of changes and very excited about what we're going to do next. And I'll shut up now.
Great stuff.
Awesome. So I'll just share my screen, right? We have right now, like starting with the learnings we had, right? So quick recap, we were doing like a P2P football penalty shootout game, right? But a learning we had from there is like it's hard to bring people, like the coordination problem, right? To invite someone and then make them play, right? We had a mass multiplayer tournament as well where we were sending notification for everyone to join in, and then it goes in a round robin fashion, so everyone can like play with everyone. But still, right, we were not looking at the growth that we wanted. So then we started just thinking about like having conversations around like what exactly would be the semi-sync kind of a way to do this thing. So we are currently just updating the mechanism that would be best for like making sure it's social, it's competing, right? People are competing with each other, but yet like fun, right? So can you guys see my screen? Awesome.
Yes.
So the first thing was initially we made the whole game mechanics to be like the person would choose left, right, or center, right? The striker, and the goalie would in return choose the same left, right, or center. And if goalie manages to guess the striker's choice, then he able to stop the goal, right? Or else it is a goal. Firstly, there is a discrepancy between like what like striker has 2/3 of chance to succeed. Like goalie has 1/3 of chance, right? So we wanted to make it like harder for goal striker as well, create more mechanic for him, make it something that he'll be learning over time, right? All games have a mechanic that they learn over time and get better at it, right? So firstly, we made it a slider that you have to time it, right? So I do this, and then you have a power button, right? So basically what we are thinking is, if you are doing it too slow, right, then the goalie is going to catch it, right? And right now we are not doing like one person gets to be the goalie, another gets to be the striker. It's everyone against the goalie, right? The striker is more fun either way, right? So we are adding more dynamic mechanisms on this POV, and making everyone compete against the striker. It like similar to blackjack, right? So we are starting with this. This is something that like we had the conversation to update the mechanic with like Jacob and I yesterday, and this is the progress so far, right? So we are changing a lot of things, and we are changing it fast for sure. So yeah, that is it. I think, Jacob, if you want to add anything else, we can open to the questions.
Yeah, 100%. So Utkarsh covered a lot of it. I think the coordination problem was big. Want to do it something where it's a little bit more skill-based, a little more hand-eye coordination, where there's like a little bit more of a dynamic gameplay where you have to do something fast within a certain period of time versus like, you know, if you're just waiting for the other person to go and then make one of three choices, obviously that's less interesting. And then instead of the goalie being like the only thing you're seeing, we also had this idea where it's almost like target practice. Like you have to stop it in a certain place and then time both the direction and the power to kind of hit that target. And there can be like bombs or booby traps as well in there, and make it more of like a fun, almost like a carnival game versus just like a kind of FIFA PK arcade game. And so generally, like the vibe has been pretty good. Like people understood that when we launched, it was early and there were going to be bugs, and we're going to try to figure it out. And everyone's really excited for what's coming next, based on everyone I've spoken to. And you know, we're going to do this a little bit more of like a larger scale thing with it in terms of a tournament. It's going to be like a week-long tournament where best points at the end of it wins, that kind of thing. So it's less reliant on being in the same room at the same time. Everyone can kind of play at their own pace, and I think that's a much better formula for scaling a game, you know. But I think we had to kind of try the first way because it seemed really cool in our heads, and you know, it's good to kind of learn quickly and change based on those lessons.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think in general, excited to see how, you know, already Warps is an evolution of Arrows. Atlas is evolving. You know, like this feedback loop that we always say with meetups is fast. It's
Yeah.
really fast. So excited for the next iterations as well. Frank, do you have any comment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So the analytics were very good, but I think it's like a little bit inflated because we were featured on the one hand. So, and we didn't really have notifications figured out perfectly. So I think with notifications, we probably would have had a better idea or better retention of users. But I think like this is a good thing for any mini apps, you know, builders out there. Like if you can grab the attention of Farcaster users, then you could see 5,000 unique users can come into your app in a single week, because this is pretty much a brand new mini app, new domain. This is all the week we got featured, and a lot of attention went to the app. We had a small monetization piece where we sold season passes for $5, which is going to carry users through like a lot of different Atlas experiences. This is really just like who are kind of loyal first supporters. And we've got like 215 people that signed up. We're going to let them invite friends. So the idea is to kind of grow that sort of small, loyal core user base, get them to bring their friends. Then obviously it's a lot more fun to compete against your friends and all that stuff. So that's kind of where we are as of last week, and you know, where we're going to go in the future with this new kind of strategy. Okay, so I was I thought that when your app was featured that everyone gets notified, because all the times that there was a featured app, it was like an airdrop also, and everyone that got the airdrop got notified. So I thought those two things went hand in hand. And then the second issue that came up was because I validated a new domain, all of the notifications from like all of the Atlas users from the last 3 months got stuck with that other domain. And using the Nanar dashboard, you can't send old users from one mini app to a new domain. So that was just like something we figured out like on the day of launch, notwithstanding, because of the featured app placement, I think we still got a lot of people in the door, but I think that that's something that was caught us a little by surprise, and it's a lesson learned.
Yeah, I guess more on the notification part, we are using Nana services right now, and maybe there is some issue with the like our normal notifications, right? So we are like building our internal notification management tool as well that would give us more visibility on like tracking different phase of like our users.
Yeah, notifications are very important. If the user doesn't get a notification, your app doesn't really exist. That's the reality.
We still have time for one more question. I don't know if any or ideas or feedbacks. If you guys have anything to say or comment. Otherwise,
Yeah, one thing I'll preview is I started Atlas really excited about like Farcaster and AI and stuff, and I just last night built a really cool new AI feature that's going to live within Atlas, almost like the way that like Nintendo Wii had this like avatar creator world. Like I'm working on that as like part of Atlas now as well.
amazing. Thank you so much for the alpha then.
No.
All right. All right. Thank you guys for presenting. Congrats on the progress. Let's move on to Travis with Farcastle.
Cool. All right. Well, welcome back to the mystical realm. It's been quite a journey since our last demo to demonstrate kind of the crypto crowdfunding concept. We launched a campaign to pay for my travel to FarCon. So didn't reach our goal, but we raised 0.420 ETH in a week to prioritize the vibes and just kick it with our internet friends in NYC. So unfortunately, I cannot count how many times I had to say not that crowdfunding app in all of the conversations that I was having last week. But since then, it's really strengthened our resolve to know that fundraiser is not about these GoFundMe type feel-good donations. It's about bringing kind of communities together for a cause. And so common purpose, collective action, and we want to kind of structure our rewards more like Kickstarter. So as we continue this quest to transform channels into DAOs, we have summoned a better way to raise coins with your community and shape your destiny. So since the last demo, we got a lot of really good feedback, from over like 10 influential community members. And the message was pretty clear, improve the shareability, integrate better with the Farcaster ecosystem. So here's some of the updates that we've made to the app. We revamped the navigation. No longer says the name of the app at the top, but these are our primary calls to action, this explore and this launch. And so now, those are always available in the view. Just one of the low-hanging fruit that we could do to make some progress, but should be a little bit more obvious what those calls to action are. And we also added the Nanar API to bring in the Farcaster social graph into the app. So instead of anonymous wallet addresses, we now have all of your beautiful faces and your usernames, hoping this creates kind of a stronger sense of community and makes some of the contributions feel a little bit more personal. We also worked really hard to improve some of our sharing in the app. And so one of the things I didn't mention previously, all of our buttons said cast campaign or cast contribution. So we made that a little bit more obvious, and now they say share. But if you go into one and let's see, we got our share campaign, you can see, come on, baby. Taking a second to load. Let's contribute to this one, 0.001. All transactions. It's weird. We need to dig into this because like everything that we do is like a transaction, but for some reason, we're not getting that data in. Come on, baby. Be beautiful for me. Well, we got the avatars of the contributors on the embed now. That's happening dynamically. Maybe I should just like let it sit there for a second. So improve the sharing. Behind the scenes, we integrated kind of post-hoc analytics to give us a little bit more insight into how people are using the platform, identify some friction points, and optimize the journey. So there were 8 campaigns successfully launched on Base in the first 2 weeks. But what's really been most valuable is running our own campaign to understand how difficult it is to always be shilling. And so I think that's going to help us inform our priorities to like figure out how to help other campaigns. But the feedback we received shaping our roadmap. We've faced some challenges with the differentiation. But you know, I think we're getting stronger every day. So we formed some pretty cool strategic partnerships while in FarCon, and we'll be announcing those soon to kind of really showcase how our platform can enable communities to rally around shared goals. And what we're trying to focus on is highlighting the rewards that make our mini app different. And so what's up next is kind of building the tools that enable the campaign creators to offer those concrete benefits to contributors, so it's not just a donation. So core vision still strong. It's not about just the feel-good donations. We're bringing communities together. It's about a common purpose. It's about collective action. So when you contribute to a campaign, you're becoming part of something. So really would love to show all my gratitude for everybody here and their continued support and feedback. We're building something that goes beyond crowdfunding, and we're creating the infrastructure for communities to kind of achieve things together. So if you have any ideas for campaigns you would like to launch, we would love to help share your story.
Cool. Thank you, Travis, and great progress. Excited to see the Farcaster social graph within the app. I think it's like something simple that can be like really game changer. Any comments or ideas for Travis? All right. No, I think like I wanted to ask you about the embed, like the shareable embed, because yesterday actually I tried it. Excited to see that you already implemented some like of the feedbacks that I shared in the comments.
I was up all night, man, and trying to get it in, and it's in. I don't know why it didn't work in that demo real quick.
Cool. Yeah, maybe you can share it later in the chat. I'm curious to see how you implemented it, because I think that's the most powerful tool for anybody creating a campaign. Having people that donate, sharing the campaign, and so creating this loop. I'm curious to know, building up on the last like Jacob and Besha point, like how are you thinking about like notifications? Is there any notifications that you are already sending to the user? Is it something that you are going to add soon? What's your plan?
Not yet, but I sent Sam a message last night. I said notifications is going to be like the killer feature of this app. It's talking about like some of the DAOs and communities I'm coordinating with or have been coordinating with over years. Like I never know what's going on. And so I think that is really going to like take us to the next level. And doing it right and kind of using it as the centerpiece of the app is kind of the approach that we want to take with it.
Yes, Frank.
Nice. Yeah, I've been keeping my eye on it, been a big follower of Seed Club for a long time. Their app is working really well. And I've had this conversation so many times over the past 2 weeks. I could probably do it in my sleep, right? Leaning into the differentiation that, that's kind of like a donation. It's more like GoFundMe, where we're going to be more like Kickstarter, where it's like you're actually buying into something and you're going to be rewarded for that. That's the direction that we want to go. And, we were kind of hiding the DAO stuff in the back because various reasons. We just like didn't want to lead with that. But so many of the people that I've been talking to are like, dude, that's really cool. Like, I didn't even know that, that's so interesting. And so, potentially like reconsidering that may be a good approach to take, is like, this is actually the easy way to start a DAO. And it doesn't have to be a protocol DAO. It can be a DAO of homies that are getting together for a common cause.
Amazing. Cool. Yeah. Right on time. Thank you, Travis. Great progress. Looking forward for the next iteration.
Thank y'all. It was great.
Let's move on with Carlos. Frank, just one note for you. Somebody told me that your mic on X is not. People cannot hear you from X, from the live stream. So I don't know. But try to fix it while Carlos presents. Yeah, go on, Carlos.
Hi, are you seeing this screen? Sorry.
We can see the
Like the skyscrapers and all that stuff. Yeah, sorry.
exactly skyscrapers. Yes.
So here we go. So I'll start with where we are standing. Back in ParkCon, I had an amazing time meeting you guys, and I had a few feedback from users. I find there were some bugs and stuff that wasn't working. So I am rebuilding the many parts of the app. So I'll start just with the analytics. So we have 822 unique users and around 1,500 opens. So the main problems I had is the filtering I'm using to see if a user can use the app, meaning it is whitelisted or not. It's working. Some users just they were, even though they were not whitelisted, they were able to use the app. Others wasn't able. And then when I was trying to, well, the issue we had with your phone, Simone, that you couldn't load the connection button. So I've been working on that. The other stuff is the other stuff is that I'm unable to. I have problems with the data sources. We've been trying to connect directly to the APIs of Garmin, Aura, Google, all that stuff, and it was very difficult. However, I found this provider. Actually, I spoke with them on last Thursday during PARCON, and they, with a simple endpoint, they allow us to connect to Polar, Garmin, Fitbit, Whoop, Aura, Apple Health, Withings, and they gave me access to their API on last Tuesday. So I had to rebuild everything to connect to their API. So let me start my tunneling service, and I'll show you where we're at. So now the Apple, I'll leave my console open so you can see. So it searched for the API. I mean, it searched on the database, and the query is, if I'm whitelisted true, can you use true and have accepted the terms of service and the privacy policy, I can use the app. Then it connects to the services, retrieves data from the API, and I have my new dashboard. So I rebuilt the dashboard. Now I am connected using this service, which is Rook. It was very difficult, but I managed to connect it. I have in my main. So here is how here are my users, the device they are connected to. I have a user using Aura Ring. I have a few with Garmin, Fitbit. Actually, they are all my users. Aura is Oriana, Garmin and Fitbit, it's me. And we haven't opened the beta to the public, but now that we are able to connect to this new API, we are gonna launch via a notification and invite for users to connect to the data service. Here you can see this is the response from the API from my user. It says the connections I have enabled. So I have Fitbit and Garmin are set as true, and I rebuilt this control panel where I can manage my connections. I can add another device if I need to. This is taking me to the Rook homepage. I'm not gonna use it, but then I can modify my daily goals and stuff like that. And I added a few components like a daily activity with a percentage of my activity and some motivational phrases like, for today, it's 10 a.m. here in Mexico. I've been sitting in the computer, so I have no data connected, but I do have my weekly activities. So that's what we built during these 5 days since PARCON, and from Tuesday, since the guys at Rook opened the API for me to testing. So my next step is continue with all that we have built previously, like the attestations, the sharing my daily objectives, goals, and streaks, just to integrate all into the app and open a beta public via invitation to start testing the app. So that's what we built this week. I mean, it might not look like a lot of progress, but trust me, it was very difficult to connect to the API. And Oriana already joined us. She can give us some insight about the marketing and what we have in plan for the next week.
Yeah. Hi. Well, here it's really late. I'm in Singapore time, so it's like 2 a.m. almost 2 a.m. It's one. But one thing I found, like I'm saying in network school, so this is a really a good community to test this app, because everybody is focused on exercise, everybody is a nerd and they are using all these apps and stuff. So people here are doing challenges. They are using mostly Whoop, and they are making groups, and they are tracking these challenges by manually. So this app, it will be like really useful, because what I'm seeing is people are doing this kind of competition between friends, but just to doing like a leaderboard who did most, who did burn more calories and stuff like that. So it's like a good focus group to test the app. So we already have a group of people doing this manually, and we are going to test with them as soon as we open the application, how they use it and how it works in real life.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. Does anybody have any comments or ideas? Otherwise, Nikolai, yeah, let's hear from you.
I want to be on the beta test for this.
For sure, I'll add you. No problem. What device are you using?
I'm using Aura and I'm using VThings.
Awesome. Aura works like a charm with this integration. But yes, for sure, I'll add you.
Thank you.
Amazing. No, I think like it's great that you solved like the data problem. I remember how it was, like, and I imagine how it was the hardest part. What I'd love to see, maybe even at launch, it's like some like social stuff already, so that people are more incentivized and engaged to join the app and connect their devices. Because otherwise, if it's single player, maybe to incentivize them like would be harder. I don't know, Frank, if you wanted to raise like a similar point.
Yeah, so I hope I fixed the problem with.
You're muted, Frank.
Okay, I was saying I hope I fixed my problem with the microphone. So yeah, no, just wanted to say congrats for the API integration, because I remember it was an issue. And yeah, two questions. So the first one is, do you plan to release the beta before the next demo? So basically in the next 2 weeks. This is the first question. The second one, I think it can be very, very interesting if you plan to have notification, for example, when a friend of mine on Farcaster maybe reach a goal or a target, or maybe if he's not reaching a goal. So for example, I don't know, Limone is working on computer and is not working at all today. So this type of social things, this notification, I think it can improve a lot. So for example, I will be I will try it, and I will use the mini app for these reasons too.
Okay, the first one, yes, we will open it probably in a couple of days. We are hoping to open on Monday, the beta. And about the second question, I haven't thought about notifications that way, but I think that they will be very useful and really helpful. We're using Neinar with their direct webhook. So I just have to dive into the Neinar's documentation, see how it works, and how can I send targeted or specific notifications. But yeah, it totally makes sense what you just said.
Yes, Nikolai.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe one more suggestion. I saw a great gamification implemented with Duolingo. And I think maybe you could implement something like that, where you don't actually compete against your friends, but against like everybody, and you divide people into the leagues. So the best performers, they get promoted to the higher league, and then they have to compete against like the better performing people. I think something like that would bring daily engagement.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We were thinking only about friends, but maybe like this thing to compete against everybody. It's cool. Thank you.
Cool stuff. Nikolai, it's your turn now. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Oriana. Great progress. Nikolai, go on with the secret app. Last but not least. Yes.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody had a good time at FarCon in New York. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but I hope you guys had enjoyed it. So let's see where we are. In the past 2 weeks, I worked on the creation features for the mini map, for the secret mini app. Let me show you. So if you select video, now you can select a time frame for a preview image, and you also can select pixelation, where you can configure how the preview will look like. And I think this part you saw already, so you can select what will be the share of the creator, how much you will give to the referrals and to the previous owners of the app. And yeah, let me just go with the image. It will be faster. And here the same, like you can select the pixelation, and you can create the content with a simple transaction. So I worked a lot on the backend because I didn't want people to get to upload the content to IPFS before the transaction. So now you have to make the transaction first, and then your content will be uploaded to IPFS in the encrypted format. And so now when the content is created, other user can see it, hopefully. Yeah, and can buy it.
I don't think I'm seeing. I'm still seeing the Secret 75 screen. Not sure if you're on another screen now.
Oh yeah. So basically, I think I shared the only one screen. Yep. Okay. Let me just show it on this one. So yeah, that basically will be the screen where the people can see the content. If they purchased it, they can see the full content like this. And what I also created is the sharing, where you can where the preview image. Can you see it now? The sharing screen.
Yes.
And the image is coming. Hopefully, yes. Okay. So basically, that's how the sharing image will look like. It will show how many people bought this content, and it will have like a call to action, big call to action. So my next steps are to finish all this front end for the for the content, to make it more user friendly, so people, when they open the app, they not only see one content, but they will be able to see like the most popular content. And after that, I have to polish some functions, and I think I will be ready to release in about 3 to 4 days. Shortly, that's all I got.
Cool. Thank you so much. Excited to see this live. I guess I'll start with a question or comment. Like, have you seen like the pay-per-view mini app? Have you tried it? Is there any learning that you're trying to apply, or something that, I don't know, you think will diversify your approach with respect to their experience?
I thought that would be the first of the question, like the most important one. Yes, of course, I saw them, looking at them actively, and yes, basically I'm learning from them because they're live already, and I'm like a bit behind. And yeah, I hope we can do something better. I mean, they don't have. Yeah, what we have built in is the revenue share with the owners of the content. So like, and some features to protect from spam, content spam. Yeah, and I think in these respects, we are doing better. So like, on the pay-per-view, you can share any content even if you don't own it, which would, in my view, create some more spam and fatigue from the notifications and there's from the paper. Might be. Maybe I'm not right, but we will see. Yep. And I think it's a good thing what they are there. That means this market is interesting. Yeah, I would be more nervous if I would be the only one doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally, and indeed, it's also a good opportunity to learn, as you mentioned, as people are already using it and I see them already iterating. So I'm sure that as soon as you launch, you will also have faster feedback loops. Any other comments, Frank? Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, congrats for the improvements, because I feel like especially the UX is way better compared to the last demo day. So great job. So yeah, one feedback is that I don't like the shareable mini app, the embedded image when you share, because there is, if I remember correctly, there is a double button. Yeah. Okay, is it right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it when I saw it. Well, it was like, yeah, but just my opinion on that. And also, I think even for your mini app, having notification, especially for activity related to your friends, will be very, very important. So, for example, I don't know, Limone is buying a content, and so from the notification, I can click and buy it if I want. So yeah, notification even for your app, I think, is critical.
Okay, so you just going back to the buttons. So you think that's like an overkill, yeah, to have like this? Because for me, you see, like this button looks like there is a limitation on the size. It can be only 32 characters, yeah, and also it's not very visible, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It
In my
was
opinion.
confusing having a double button. Then that I think should be the same thing, right? So yeah.
Yeah, they both work though. So whenever you click, it opens the app.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's a good point. Cool.
I just wanted to get more like real estate to grab the attention of the people. So
Maybe style it less like a button and more like a banner or something. Maybe it's just like a simple change you can make to make it more like a call out or like a something, because it looks like every button in Farcaster is purple, so it like looks like a button more than the actual button. You know what I'm saying?
well, if the people click on it, I don't buy it. Like really, but actually, what I'm gonna do basically when I launch, maybe do an A/B test to see like what performs better, because like in the end, the only thing we are interested in is like click rate. Yeah, I mean we can't see like real click rate, but at least we will see like number of clicks on version 1, version 2.
Good point. Curious to see the result. Carlos, you had a comment?
Yes. So I don't know if Nikolai, have you seen what Ace, this Farcaster user, has been creating with Reveal Cam, which he hasn't shared a lot, but it's some sort of pixelated images which you have to get. And if you have seen, so the question is if you have seen that new development, and how do you, what are your plans about this competition? Or I mean, I don't know if it's a competition because he hasn't shared a lot, but how you have seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I saw the game where you can guess them. You have to guess the movie from the pixelated image, but I think that's different. Yeah.
I think it's like you speculate on a meme coin where you don't see the image of it, so you have to like buy a meme coin before you know like what it's all about, something like that.
Yeah, probably because he created this alpaca mini app where you basically created coins, so it might be related to that. But
all right, we're perfectly on time. Thank you so much, Nikolai, to share
Thank you.
and close the demo day today. Just a reminder for you all that whenever you want, like both me and Frank, we are available for synchronous office hours, or if you prefer, we have a group chat to share ideas, feedbacks, questions that you might have. Even on our direct messages, feel free to reach out. Really excited for these last 2 weeks, and soon we will know who will get to win this residency in Rome. Thank you again for coming in today. Chat soon. Keep building.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.